Isn't there anyone brave enough to marry my daughter? Only one human man stepped forward. Eli Mercer pushed through the towering doors of the Vossian Grand Hall. Laughter exploded from the assembled court. Hundreds of aliens scaled, tentacled, furred, turned, their multifaceted eyes toward the lone human striding down the central aisle. Their chuckles rippled like static, mocking the intruder in ragged colony fatigues. High Ruler Karov Voss loomed on his obsidian throne, claws tapping the armrest. His daughter, Princess Sayuri, stood rigid beside him, her iridescent scales shimmering under the hall's glow orbs. She didn't laugh. Her gaze locked on Eli, sharp as a vibroblade. Karov raised a massive hand. Silence fell. "You interrupt the challenge of the Veil." The ruler boomed. His voice echoed off vaulted ceilings etched with battle friezes. "State your purpose, off-worlder, or be ejected." Eli stopped 10 paces from the throne dais. He met Karov's stare. No bow, no flourish, just calm. "I volunteer," Eli said. Gasps swept the hall. Then the laughter returned. Louder. A furred noble choked on his drink. Marshal Drek Tal, the security chief with scars crisscrossing his armored hide, barked a guffaw from his post. "A human?" Drek sneered. "For the princess's hand? This flea dares claim protection against the shadow clans?" Sayuri's tail flicked once. Her eyes narrowed, probing. Karov leaned forward. His crown of fused fangs glinted. "The challenge stands. Rivals circle my bloodline. Only a mate unbreakable by blade, poison, or intrigue claims Sayuri Voss. Thousands have refused. You, human, what makes you worthy? And was you, was you, was you. Eli shrugged. Logistics tech, from Epsilon Outpost. Fixed your supply chains last cycle. Figure I can handle the rest. More laughter. Envoy Lear Quen, sleek and silver-scaled, smirked from the diplomatic dais. He jests. High Ruler. Humans breed like vermin, but shatter under true pressure. Eli ignored them. He stepped closer. Contracts open. I'm here to sign. The hall hushed again. Karov's claws stilled. You mock my daughter's fate? The ruler growled. No, sir. Eli's voice stayed even. Just volunteering. Karov surged to his feet. Servitors scrambled. He snatched a data slate from a hovering drone and slammed it onto the dais. Holotext flared. The Royal Marriage Codex, etched in Vossian script and Galactic Standard. Witnesses, Karov roared. Seal this folly. Drek and Lear flanked the slate. Court nobles pressed forward. Murmuring, Eli extended his hand. The slate's neural pad hummed, scanning his implant. Full terms, Eli said. No edits. Karov bared fangs. You bind to her life. Defend against all. Fail. And execution follows. Understood. The court held its breath. Laughter died. Eli pressed his palm down. Light pulsed. The seal locked with a chime. Contract bound. Chaos erupted. Cheers mixed with jeers. Drek lunged forward, but Karov waved him back. Human. The ruler said, voice low thunder. You claim my heir. Prove it survives the night. Eli nodded. She will. Sayuri descended the dais steps. Guards parted. She stopped inches from him, her scent ozone and spice filling his space. Up close, her scales shifted colors with her pulse. Deep violet now. Wary. Follow, she hissed. No choice given. Eli trailed her through a side arch. Corridors twisted, lined with sensor webs and patrol drones. Vossian architecture favored sharp angles. Gravity baffles humming underfoot. They entered her private sanctum. Doors sealed with a hiss. Holo screens flickered with threat feeds. Shadow Clan probes circling the palace perimeter. Sci-Fi World. State your price, human. Eli scanned the room. Compact armory nook. Data consoles. A sleep pod. Veiled in silks. Efficient. Defensible. No price, he said. Her scales flashed crimson anger. All seek gain. Lands? Credits? Alliance for your weak colonies? Eli pulled a multi-tool from his belt. Voshan guards outside wouldn't hear through the seals. He crouched by the main console. Interface port exposed. Just safety, he said. Add a clause. My protection fails? You void the contract. No repercussions. She stalked closer. You think my father yields to addendums? Or me? Not yielding. Eli jacked in his tool. Code scrolled. Clarifying. Logistics. 101. Define terms up front. Sayeri snatched his shoulder. Her grip crushed like a Vice-Vossian strength tripled human norms. Release that. He didn't flinch. Your perimeter feeds lag. Shadow Clan jammed the outer relays 5 minutes ago. Standard tactic. Her eyes widened fractionally. She released him. Eli worked faster. Pings echoed. Rerouting through backup nodes. They'll hit the East Wing decoy in 3, 2. Alarms blared outside. Muffled shouts. Explosions rocked distant walls. Sayri activated her wristcom. Report! Drek's voice crackled. Probes diverted, Princess. Human how? Logistics, Eli said, unplugging. Console stabilized. She stared. Scales softened to indigo curiosity. Why? She demanded. Humans flee. Conflict. You walked into it. Eli stood, met her gaze level. Saw the broadcast. Your father's challenge. Needed a volunteer. I'm it. Lies. She circled him, tail lashing. Lear whispers of spies. Drek tests you next Dawn Arena trials. Survive or die. I'll manage. He eyed the armory. Your vibro lances charge slow in this humidity. She froze. You notice such. Details save lives. Eli stepped to the pod veil. Pulled it aside. Structural scan via his implant. Weak seam. Reinforce this panel. Assassins favor vents. Sayri's hand shot out again. This time, not crushing. Probing. She traced his arm, testing muscle under human skin. Soft. No claws. No venom sacs. Soft works. Eli guided her fingers to a concealed pocket. Pulled a nanoseal patch. For breaches. Sticks to scales? Fine. She took it. Inspected. Hesitated. A chime interrupted door request. Princess. Lear Quen's voice purred. A word with your consort? Sayeri's scales hardened. Denied. The envoy persisted. High Ruler summons. The court demands proof. Eli checked the threat feeds. Clear now. But shadows lingered in the code residual hacks. Go, he said to Sayri. I'll hold here. She hesitated. First crack in her guard. You presume command? No. Eli handed her the multi-tool. Borrow this. Fixes loose ends. She took it. Slipped it into her belt. Turned for the door. Halfway out, she paused. Eli Mercer. Fail. And I end you myself. Door sealed. Eli exhaled. Alone now. He dragged a console chair to the weak seam. Started welding with the tool's plasma tip. Alarms stayed quiet. But Drek's trials loomed. Outside, boots marched. Lear's voice murmured to guards. Eli worked steady. One weld at a time. Dawn would test more than strength. Sayeri strode back into the sanctum hours later, scales dulled by fatigue. Eli hadn't moved. The pod seam gleamed, reinforced. Console hummed, optimized. Vibrolances stood charged in a neat row. He looked up from a holomap of the palace. How'd it go? Court had raged. Karov quelled it. Drek plotted trials. Poison gauntlet. Blade duel. Intrigue sim. Lear schemed alliances against the Union. Father binds you to trials, she said. Survive 3, or forfeit. Eli nodded. Standard escalation. Got a med kit? She tossed one from the armory. He caught it one-handed. Why protect? She pressed. No price named. Eli patched a blister from the welding. Someone has to. Her tail coiled. Close now. Heat radiated from her scales. Prove it tomorrow, she whispered. Or I'll see the human lie. He met her eyes. She turned away. But her scales shifted faint blue. Eli watched her enter the pod. Veil dropped. He settled by. Marshal Drek kicked the sanctum door wide. Human? Escort route starts now. Keep pace or fail the first trial. Eli stood from the console, holomap flickering off. He grabbed a vibro lance and medkit. No questions. Drek's guards flanked the door, tails lashing. Siri lingered by the pod, eyes sharp. Palace perimeter, Drek barked. Rivals prowl the outer halls. One slip, and assassins gut you both. He thrust a data slate at Eli. Red lines pulsed. A twisting maze of corridors, blind turns, camera dead zones. Beat my team's record. Or crawl back to your ship. Eli scanned the slate, nodded. Lead on, Drek snorted, scales rippling crimson. He strode out. Guards fell in. Siri matched Eli's side, her heat brushing his arm. They plunged into the palace depths. Marble floors gleamed under glow orbs. Arched vaults hummed with shield fields. Drek set a brutal clip, boots pounding, tail signaling turns. Eli memorized. First camera swept left at Junction 3. Patrol gap at the fountain alcove. Ventilation grate hid a sniper perch. Sayeri tested him. Why volunteer? Humans flee danger. Why? Why volunteer? Logistics, Eli said. Flat. He spotted a loose grate ahead, nudged it shut with his boot. No tripwire snag. Drek glanced back. Grinned fangs. Softskin thinks small. My route shaved 2 minutes last cycle. Eli didn't argue. He walked once. Eyes traced seams in walls. Glow orb flicker patterns marked power surges. Guard postures screamed feints left sentry favored his wounded leg. They hit the outer ring. Wind howled through arrow slits. Shadows pooled where rivals might lurk. Drek accelerated. Eli matched. Steady breaths. No sweat. Sayeri's tail brushed his calf. Warning or probe. He ignored it. Mapped the exhaust vents, perfect ambush choke points. Drek halted at the perimeter gate. Timer beeped. 4. 12. His record. 4. 8. Pathetic. Do it solo. Eli handed Sayeri the medkit. Stay visible. Draw eyes. She arched a brow ridge but gripped it tight. He bolted back. No sprint. Efficient strides. Camera angles locked in memory. He ducked. The first blind sweep slid under on one knee. Fountain alcove. Vaulted past the gap. Boot, tapping the telltale stone. Vent grate? He yanked a tool from his belt, wedged it silent. Shadows ahead simulated rival drone whirred to life. Eli sidestepped, lance humming low. One thrust pierced its core. Sparks died. Timer hit 3:47 at the sanctum return. Drek waited, jaws clenched. Impossible. You cheated cams? Eli synced the slate. Gaps exist. Filled them. He pointed to the holo replay. Patrol overlaps fixed in his head. Drek's team had missed the leg wound feint. Scales paled on Drek. Trial passed. Barely. Sayeri stepped close. Heat pulsed from her. You saw it all. Once. Patterns repeat. Eli stowed the lance. Like code, her tail uncoiled. Faint blue sheen chased fatigue from her scales. Court sees now. But Lear circles. Eli nodded. Alarms were his language. People, just variables to protect. She grabbed his wrist. Claws pricked, not breaking skin. Ritual meal. Now. Or they claim weakness. No choice. She dragged him through service tunnels. Steam vents hissed. Spice aromas thickened, the air bitter, electric, on his tongue. The meal chamber glowed amber. High Ruler Karov sat at the head, flanked by courtiers. Envoy Lear lounged opposite, eyes gleaming, plates steamed with translucent gels, writhing tendrils, crystal shards. Sayuri shoved Eli into the low seat beside her. Use the forbidden tines. Fail. And marriage voids. Courtiers hissed. Taboo utensils, three-pronged claws, etched with reversal runes. Grip wrong. Gels poisoned the handler. Eli watched her first. She pierced a tendril slow. Rotated wrist left. Gel bloomed, harmless blue. He mirrored. Exact angle. Tendril yielded. Blue bloom. No flinch. Lear leaned in. Luck. Human paws fumble rights. Eli rotated again. Shard next, counterclockwise pinch. It cracked open, nectar pooling safe. He offered Sayuri the first sip. Her eyes widened. Tradition reversed. Groom serves bride. Courtiers froze. Karov rumbled low. Approval? Sayuri accepted. Nectar dripped her chin. She wiped it, scales flushing deeper blue. Your turn, Eli said. Quiet. Pulled a ration bar from his kit. Human custom peeled foil, broke it half. Share. No poison. Builds trust. She stared, took the piece. Bit, crunched nuts and protein. Earth grit. No gel pretense. Lear sneered. Eli met his gaze. Throne demands survivors. He broke another piece, handed to Karov direct. Bold. Ruler paused. Then chewed. Nodded once. Sayuri's tail curled near his boot. Heat steady now. You adapt. Why? Why? Practical. Eli speared another tendril. Perfect rotation. Keeps us alive. Court murmurs shifted. Not awe. Respect. Drek entered late, glowering from the arch. Data slate clutched tight. Eli's map uploaded. Gaps sealed. Karov raised a claw. Second trial tomorrow. Poison gauntlet. Survive, human. And court binds the union. Eli nodded. No brag. Sayuri's hand brushed his under the table. Claws. Retracted. Trust. Flickered. Lear whispered to a courier. Schemes brewed. But Eli mapped those eyes too. Vectors. Predictable. Meal ended. Sayuri led him back. Sanctum sealed. She paused at the pod. You saw my fatigue. Fixed the seam. Mapped our cage. Eli shrugged. Someone has to. Her scales blazed blue. Full now. She pressed close. Heat enveloped him. Tomorrow, poison claims fools. Prove steady. He caught her gaze. Deal. Lance, charged by the console. Map updated with Lear's courier paths. She entered the pod. Veil hummed down. Eli settled by the door this time. Vibrolance across his knees. Palace corridors whispered threats. He traced new lines on the holo. Drek's next push loomed. But patterns held. Steady care. Carved paths through mazes. Dawn crept. A shadow slipped past the outer cam. Lear's agent. Eli rose silent. Lance ready. First real test. Brewed in the dark. Drek slammed the arena gate shut. Vibrations rattled Eli's boots. The massive dome loomed. Walls etched with claw scars from past hunts. Sairi gripped her shock spear tight beside him, scales flickering amber alert, not afraid. Court balconies thrummed above. Thousands of Voss eyes locked on the human volunteer. Whispers hissed through vents. They expected screams. Blood. A fragile off-worlder shredded by the Kresh beast prowling the shadows. Eli scanned the floor. Scrap metal littered the sand. Bent hinges from old gates. Frayed cargo ropes coiled in corners. Perfect. Rope, Eli called up to Drek. Silence crushed the murmurs. Drek leaned over the rail, mandibles clicking. You jest, human? The Kresh wakes hungry. It poisons on touch. Beg for mercy instead. Eli met his glare. Rope and hinge. Now. Sairi's spear tip twitched toward him. Eli, trust the play. He kept his voice low, steady. Drek barked a laugh. Servants dropped the items through a chute. Rope thudded first. Then the hinge clanged. Eli snatched them, knelt, and worked fast. Knots tightened around the hinge's pivot. A simple snare. Lure the beast. Swing it into a redirect. Roars echoed from the far tunnel. The Kresh burst out. 8 legs skittered. Venom sacs pulsing green along its underbelly. Mandibles dripped toxin. It locked on Sairi. The softer target. Cover me, Eli said. She pivoted, spear humming to life. Blue arcs danced along the blade. Done. Eli dragged his trap to a support pillar. Beast charged. Sand sprayed. Sairi thrust, crackling bolt grazed a leg. The Kresh veered, screeching, but barreled toward Eli. He looped rope over a beam. Hinge snapped into place as pivot. Bait. A scrap of his tunic, soaked in arena sweat. Humans smelled wrong to them irresistible curiosity. Kresh lunged. Eli dodged left. Sairi's spear slashed air behind him, scorching chitin. Faster! Almost. He yanked the line taut. Trap armed. Beast reared, sacs swelling. Poison spray. Arced. Eli rolled. Droplets sizzled sand. He sprang up, hurled the bait bundle into the noose. Kresh snapped at it. Rope whipped. Hinge swung the beast mid-air, slamming it against the wall. Keaton cracked. Sairi charged, spear plunging into a sack. Venom exploded, harmless contained. Eli grabbed the tracking collar embedded in its neck. Standard Voss hunt tech. Proof of control. Roars faded to gurgles. Silence blanketed the dome. Drek dropped from the balcony, boots thudding. Impossible. No warrior tames Kresh barehanded. Eli unclipped the collar, held it high. Not taming. Redirecting. He tossed it to Drek. Your poison gauntlet? Sairi lowered her spear. Scales shifted to deep blue. Trust solidifying. Her claw brushed his arm. Warmth lingered. Court erupted. Not cheers. Calculations. Karov rose from his throne perch. Claws steepled. Human endures. Union proceeds after council. Lear Quen slithered forward, robes whispering. High ruler, consider motives. Eli wiped sweat, eyes on Lear. Envoy's tendrils twitched, telltale probe for weakness. Karov waved him silent. Marshal Drek. Escort them. Sanctum secure. Drek gripped Eli's shoulder hard, testing. You map well, human. But court poisons run deeper. Sairi led the way out. Arena gates hissed open. She glanced back. Rope and hinge. No blade frenzy. Why? Blades kill. Traps teach. Eli matched her stride. Keeps us both walking. Her tail flicked approval. They reached the palace undercroft. Guards parted. Lear's shadow lingered at a corridor, fork courier vanishing ahead. Sanctum pod, sealed behind them. Sairi activated the holomap. Eli's updates glowed. Drek's patrols. Lear's agent paths from last night. You saw the shadow, she said. Eli nodded. Vibro lance propped nearby. Logged it. Patterns match Lear's whispers. She paced, Scales pulsing. Father binds us for shield. Rivals circle. Drek tests to break you. Lear twists for gain. Eli pulled arena scrap from his pouch, hinge remnants. We twist back. Steady. Dawn light filtered through viewports. Servants delivered meal trays. Spiced lumen fruit. Protein slabs. Sayeri pushed hers aside. Eat. Poison gauntlet waits at dusk. Real venom. No traps. Eli chewed methodically. Show me the layout. She projected it. Labyrinthine vents. Toxin clouds drifting on currents. Beasts. Optional. Survival. Mandatory. He traced lines. Airflow vectors. Sealable grates here. Finger-stabbed points. Your spear arcs disrupt flow? Affirm. Her eyes narrowed. You adapt our tech. Logistics. He shrugged. Moves cargo. Moves air same. Claws retracted fully. She sat closer. Heat radiated Voss bonding sign. Court sees brute strength. You build paths. Footsteps echoed outside. Drek's voice boomed through the door. Human. Armory brief. Now. Eli rose. Sayeri handed him a fresh shock spear. Cover. Granted. He gripped it. Deal. Corridors twisted under palace spires. Drek marched ahead, data slate humming. Gauntlet rules. Enter paired. Exit alive. No exits. But the end gate. Eli nodded. Predators? 3. Scaled with venom spines. Touch kills slow hallucinations first. They reached armory vaults. Racks gleamed. Voss blades. Energy shields. Drek shoved a harness at Eli. Standard kit. Fail. No shame. Eli strapped it on. Lightweight. Balanced. Human frame fit barely. Drek snorted. Instinct wins, not slates. Eli synced his wrist pad. Arena data fed in. Patterns emerged. Back in Sanctum, Sayeri waited. He pushes alone, tests solo nerve. Eli adjusted harness. We pair tomorrow. She nodded. Pod dimmed for rest cycle. Eli took doorwatch again. Lance ready. Holo flickered. Lear's courier looped back. Data packet glowing. Eli rose silent. Slipped a micro-drone from his kit logistics salvage. Sent it trailing. Drone feed buzzed in. Lear in alcove, whispering to agent. Humans traps untraceable. Probe the bride. Fracture trust. Sayeri stirred. Watch. He patched feed to main holo. Her scales flared red rage. Lear dares. Expected. Eli cued counterpaths. We map tighter. Dawn broke full. Servants knocked. Gauntlet prep. High ruler summons. They entered throne hall. Karov loomed on dais, flanked by Drek and Lear. Court-packed balconies. Human, Karov rumbled. Kresh collar proves nerve. Gauntlet proves bond. Enter with my daughter. Emerge wed. Or not. Sayeri stepped forward. We emerge. Lear smiled thin. Bold. Yet humans break unseen. Eli locked eyes. We build. Drek activated gates. Vent shafts yawned. Toxin mist curled out. Sayeri gripped his hand. Claws. Light. Steady. They plunged in. Mists thickened. First spine beast hissed from grating. Venom quills gleamed. Eli yanked Sayeri left. Flow shift updraft. Everyone. Lose. Everyone. She speared the grate. Sparks flew. Beast thrashed. Spines firing wild. Quill grazed Eli's harness. Burn spread slow. Visions flickered court. Laughing. Sayeri fading. Real, he growled. Shook it off. Grate 2 seal. Sayeri slammed a panel. Air rerouted. Beast starved. Second chamber. Twin beasts coiled. Fangs dripped. Eli tossed drone bait. Flank right. She arced spear blue wall stunned one. Eli pivot kicked the other into wall spines. Self-poison. Last chamber loomed. Mother beast. Sacs. Sacs pulsed. Venom sacs swelling purple on the mother beast's flanks. Eli shoved Sayeri behind a rusted pillar. Sacs first rupture on my mark. She nodded, spear humming blue. Claws dug into his arm, trust, grip. Not fear. The beast lunged, jaws wide, fangs like scythes. Eli rolled under, drone launcher primed. Fired 2 micro-drones. They burrowed into Sacs. Beast reared, shrieking. Purple ichor sprayed. Now, Eli yelled. Sayeri vaulted forward. Spear pierced the beast's underbelly. Drones detonated. Sacs burst inward. Toxin flooded veins. Beast convulsed. Spines lashing wild. One clipped Eli's shoulder fire spread, but he clamped sealant foam from harness. Sayeri yanked him clear. Final thrust ended it. Beast slumped, steam rising from innards. Eli panted, vision steady. No hallucinations this time. Clear. Gates ground open. Light flooded in. They staggered out. Hand in claw. Court balconies erupted. Gasps. Murmurs. Karov rose from dais. Drek's jaw tightened. Lear's eyes narrowed. Light. Emergent, Karov boomed. Bondholds. Wed them. Servants rushed forward with robes, chalice. Sayeri released Eli's hand. Her scales shifted, teal calm returning. She donned the veil gown. Silver threads weaving over blue scales. Eli shrugged into human-cut tunic, alien glyphs embroidered. They knelt before dais. Karov poured elixir. Drink. Bind eternal. Eli sipped first bitter tang, like rust and honey. Sayeri drank. Their hands joined over chalice. Holoseals flashed. Contract active. Cheers swelled, reluctant from some corners. Drek grunted. Human endures. Acceptable. Drek grunted. Lear stepped forward, robes swirling. Smile too sharp. High ruler. Pause. Contract Clause 9 invokes transfer protocol. Court hushed. Karo frowned. Speak plain. Envoy. Lear unrolled holo scroll. Words scrolled in Galactic Standard. Princess Sayeri. Per. Vulnerable Asset Clause. Transfers to House Krell, if groom fails primary trial. Gauntlet Secondary. Human volunteered post-failure window. Murmurs rose. Sayeri's scales flared crimson. Eli squeezed her claw steady. Her gaze met his. Question there. Loophole? Eli murmured. Low. For her ears. She hissed soft. Lear twists old law. Krell. Rivals. Karov leaned forward. Proof? Envoy? Lear projected contract. Clause glowed. If protector deemed unfit pre-bond, asset reallocates to secure house. Voice smooth. Human unfit by default off-worlder. Unproven blood. Balconies buzzed. Drek crossed arms, watching Eli. Test again. Eli stood. Quiet voice carried logistics calm. High ruler. Request live reading. Full court witness. Karov waved assent. Scribes activated Master Holo. Contract expanded. Original Voss tongue runes beside translation. Lur smirked. Waste of. Read Clause 9. Eli cut in. Original tongue. Eyes turned. Lear hesitated. Irrelevant. Translation binds. Sayeri tensed beside him. Eli felt her pulse quicken through linked hands. Original first. She echoed. Voice steel. Karov nodded. Obey. Envoy. Lear cleared throat. Projected rune line. Began chant. If protector vulnere able. Asset prebond. Realocate secure house. Eli's ear caught it. Logistics drilled languages, mismatches, killed shipments. Stop. Repeat. Vulnerable asset. Slow. Lear scowled. Vul ner able asset. No. Eli pointed. Hollow froze rune. That's Protect Vulna. Not vulnerable asset. It's Protector, declares vulnerability. Court gasped. Scribes cross-checked. Runes flickered match confirmed. Sayeri's scales brightened teal. Eli sees true. Clause requires groom declare. Self unfit. Lear. Inverts. Lear flushed violet. Translation error. Standard binds all. Lear. Lear flushed vire. Eli shook head. Pulled stylus from tunic. Amendment. Explicit, dual language seal. No inversion. Scribbled, signed, pushed to holo. Court waited. Karov eyed him. Bold. Sayeri took stylus. Her claw traced beside his mark. Countersign glowed green. Blocked. Transfer. Void. Holo sealed. Cheers exploded. Lear recoiled. Scroll vanishing. Drek barked, laugh rare. Human reads deeper than envoys. Drek. Karov slammed dais. Wedding stands. Envoy. Confined quarters. Probe your error. Servants herded guests. Eli and Sayeri retreated to antechamber. Door sealed. Alone. She turned. Scales soft blue now. Claw traced his quill burn. You saw. No one catches Voss runes so fast. Eli shrugged. Foam-sealed wound. Logistics. One wrong word. Cargo lost. Same here. Met her eyes. Couldn't lose you. Her tail brushed his leg intentional. Trust given. Steady. Leaned close. Breath warm on neck. Care shows. He cupped her scaled cheek, thumb gentle. Practical first. Then more. Lips met claw tender, elixir sweet. Bond hummed deeper. Outside. Drek's voice rumbled to Karov. Human no fluke. Traps his mind. But chamber secure. Eli pulled back. Grinned faint. Court next? More loopholes? Sayeri laughed rare chime. With you? They break first. Dawn light shifted. New day. Bond forged. Yet Lear's quarters echoed whispers. Plan B. Fracture deep. Eli's comm buzzed, silent alert. Drone feed. Shadows moved in ducts. He cued counters. Sayeri slept beside. Claw over his heart. Steady breath. He watched vents. Calm. Court reconvened at zenith. Balconies fuller nobles from outer houses. Karov on dais. Drek, vigilant. Lear absent, but ripples lingered. Sayeri stood tall beside Eli. Veil gown shimmered. They test more. Eli nodded. We map. Herald called. Petitions. First noble bowed. Minor house. Blessing on union. More followed. Then pause. Side door hissed. Not Lear. Worse. Krell emissary slithered in. Scaled black. Eyes like voids. High ruler. House Krell claims asset per prior writ. Gasps. Karov tensed. Writ dismissed. Emissary unrolled parchment ancient. Pre-gauntlet. Human volunteer invalidates nothing. Transfer now. 2. Eli leaned to Sayeri. Same clause? She nodded. Echo. He stood again. Read original. Live. Court stirred. Emissary sneered. Human presumes? Drek stepped forward. He presumes correct. Last time proved. Emissary chanted. Eli listened sharp. Caught it same twist. Declare vulnerability. Not automatic. Sayeri rose. Amendment binds. Dismiss. Karov waved. Guards dragged emissary out. Cheers louder. But Eli spotted it. Balcony shadows. Lear's aid. Signaling. Post-court. Private wing. Sayeri barred doors. They push. Why you volunteer? Eli unpacked kit. Checked drone logs. Heard challenge. Logistics fit solve chains. Glanced up. You needed steady. Not flash. Her claws laced his fingers. Flash fails. You endure. Pulled him down. Scales warm against skin. Prove now. Kisses deepened. Trust ignited. Bodies synced human endurance. Voss grace. Rhythm built. Practical care turning fierce. After, tangled sheets. She traced scars. Court sees strength. I see heart. Eli smiled. Enough? More. Tail, coiled leg. Forever map. Alert pinged. Outer feed. Krell. Ships massing orbit. Lear escaped confinement. Elikud defense. Next gauntlet. Stars. Sayeri gripped spear. Together. Bond. Unbreakable. One word saved her. Thousands more to come. Guards pounded on the door. Eli jolted upright in the tangled sheets. Sayeri's tail uncoiled from his leg as red lights flashed across the ceiling. Quarantine protocol. Karov's voice boomed through the intercom. Biosecurity incident. Voss bloodline to secure quarters. Now. Whoa. Quarov's voice. Voss bloodline to secure quarters. Eli grabbed his kit. Sayeri snatched her spear, scales rippling with tension. Guards in hazard suits shoved them into the corridor. No time for clothes, robes only. They ran, private wings sealed behind them. Elevators locked down. Distant shouts echoed. Something toxic from Lear's sabotage. Eli guessed. Krell, play. They burst into the quarantine suite. One room. Bed alcove. Console. Stale air vents humming wrong. Guards slammed the hatch. Bolts clanged. Sealed. Sayeri paced, claws scraping tile. Father's orders. Eli scanned the room. Air scrubber offline. Vents spewing faint haze. Supply locker. Basic fab unit. Filters. Timers. No palace luxuries. His logistics brain kicked in. Air first. He yanked the scrubber panel. Wires frayed. Alien tech, but circuits universal. He stripped a spare filter. Jury-rigged a bypass loop. Fan whirred to life. Clean cycle initiated. Sayeri watched. Spear propped. You fix. Others panic. Chains break without links. Eli set a timer on the console. Decon schedule. Shower rotation. 10 minutes each. Strict. No overlap. Contam risk drops 90%. She tilted her head, frills flaring. Human math? Tested. He pointed to the sonic shower stall. You first. I'll monitor. She stripped her robe. Eli averted eyes. Respect, not stare. Water hissed. She emerged, scales gleaming. Toweled dry. He showered next. Quick. Precise. Back in robe. Air cleared. Haze gone. Timer beeped. Cycle 1 complete. Sayeri sank onto the bed edge. Dropped her guard. No court eyes. She traced her side. Jagged scars. Faded but deep. Claw marks. Burn ridges. Past protectors. Voice flat. Flashy warriors. Promised shields. Delivered pain. Eli sat across, floor distance. Nodded once. No pity face. Demands now. Her eyes locked his. Set boundaries. Or, I end this. He met her gaze. Steady. No touch protocol. Starts now. She blinked. Frills twitched. My hands stay here. He clasped them. Unless you ask. Clear words. No guesses. Tail lashed. Why? Trust builds chosen, not grabbed. Eli unpacked his kit again. Pulled ration packs. Divided them. Eat. Rest. Cycle next. She took a pack. Chewed slow. You volunteer for this. She gestured scars. Not flash. Steady. Why? Eli paused. Logged final entry. Herd challenge. Logistics match. Solve problems. Keep chains intact. You needed that. Not heroes who break. Frills softened. She extended a hand. Claws retracted. Touch. He took it. Warm scales. Firm grip. No pull. Just hold. Steady. She murmured. Timer pinged. Decon 2. They rotated again. Eli monitored vents. Adjusted loop for efficiency. Air purer. Back in robes. Sayri paced less. Sat closer. Court sees human weak. Soft skin. No venom sacs. Eli shrugged. Skin endures. Adapts. Fixed the air. Didn't I? She laughed, sharp bark. Yes. Humans. Persist. Intercom crackled. Karov's voice. Status? Eli thumbed response. Air loop stable. Decon. On schedule. No contam. Pause. Marshal Drek reports breach contained. Lear's toxin Krell engineered. You two clear? Affirm. Eli glanced at Sayri. She nodded. Stay sealed. Proof trial tomorrow. Click. Sayri growled. Drek pushes. Won't. Eli reset timer. One link at a time. She leaned in. Not touch. Close enough to feel her warmth. Scars from Drek's kin. Tested me. Broke instead. Eli's jaw tightened. Said nothing. Offered hand again. She took it. Squeezed. You set boundary. Hold it. Night cycle dimmed lights. They shared the bed opposite sides. No touch held. Eli lay awake first. Listened to her breath even out. Steady rhythm. Morning ping. Console lit. Outer feeds cleared. But quarantine extended. Political shield. Sari muttered. Father buys time. Eli rose. Rigged breakfast from rations. Nutrient dense. Human-style portions. Adjusted for her mass. She ate. Watched. Court whispers. Human endures bed duty. Joke. Not joke. He cleared plates. Practical. Rest. Heals. Frills flared amusement. Bed duty. They envy. He chuckled. Low. First crack in his calm. She stood. Paced to console. Pulled feeds. Krell ships still massed. Lear in custody escaped again? Shadows moved. Danger close. She gripped spear. Eli checked his drone logs, personal unit, smuggled. Defenses queued. But here, we hold. She turned, offered hand. Touch more. He stood, took both hers, pulled her close but stopped. Waited. Embrace, she said. Arms around, her head to his shoulder, scales to skin, steady heartbeat sync. Past ones grabbed. She whispered, You wait. Chosen. He held firm. No push. Timer beeped. Decon 3. They moved together. Efficient. Trust in motion. Shower done. Robes on. Sayeri traced his palm. No scars. Smooth human skin. Underestimated, she said. Court blind. Eli smiled, faint. Show through action. Intercom again. Drek's growl. Human. Proof trial. Sim combat. Quarantine lifts post clear. Quarantine. Sayeri snarled. He cheats trials. Eli nodded. Rigged or not. Steady wins. She coiled tail around his waist. First unasked touch from her. Together. He didn't pull away. Offered back. Hand to frill base. Gentle stroke. Her eyes widened. Purr rumbled. Deep. Trust shifted. Not flash. Steady care. Console flashed urgent. Palace breach secondary toxin. Quarantine doubled. Days now. Locked longer. No court. Just them. Sayri pulled him to bed. Boundaries bend? Ask, he said. Kiss. Lips met. Slow. Chosen. Her claws grazed, not scar. Care. Bodies aligned. Human endurance met Voss. Grace. Rhythm. Practical. Fierce protection in every touch. After. Tangled. She traced his chest. Heart steady. Love maps. Eli held her. Enough proof? More. Tail locked. Stars wait. Here first. Alert pinged outer. Krell. Probe ships inbound. Lear's signal traced. Eli cued counterhack from Kit. Next chain. She gripped spear. Hand in his. Together. Door stayed sealed. Trust. Unbreakable. Thousands words, unspoken actions spoke. But console whispered. Envoy Lear's voice. Hacked feed. Human falls. Voss yields. Sayuri tensed. Eli cued block. Steady fingers flew. Not today, he said. Her laugh. Never. Quarantine held. Bond deepened. Trial loomed. Breach alarms screamed through the quarantine chamber. Red strobes slashed the dim light. Eli bolted upright from the bed. Sayuri's tail still looped loose around his leg. Drek's voice boomed over the intercom. Intruders in the East Wing. Troops deploying. Human. Stay behind the seal. Protect nothing. Eli ignored him. He yanked on his boots, grabbed Sayuri's spear from the wall rack, and thrust it into her hands. With me. Now. Her frill flared, violet scales rippling. Drek's order. Trudy. Trudy. Orders kill. Move. He pulled her toward the service panel. Palm slamming the release. Hinges hissed open. Cool air rushed from the tunnel beyond. Sayuri hesitated one beat. Then her claws gripped his arm. She followed. One. They dropped into the narrow duct, knees scraping grated floor. Eli led, flashlight beam cutting shadows. Distant shouts echoed Voss guards clashing with metal. Blaster fire cracked. Left fork, Sayuri whispered. Her tail brushed his calf, guiding. Voss palace layouts burned in her memory. Eli nodded. He wedged his shoulder against a junction grate, peering out. Main corridor below. 3 assailants in black exosuits. Plasma rifles sweeping. Krell markings on their pauldrons. Not phantoms. Real killers. One scanned upward. Eli ducked. Hard cover. There. He pointed to a bulkhead recess 20 meters down, shielded by conduit pipes. Sayuri's eyes narrowed. Exposed run. Not if we bait. Eli fished his handheld beacon from his kit logistics tool for cargo signals. He flipped it to pulse mode, synced to intruder freak from earlier hacks, slapped a mirror shard from the tunnel wall onto the grate, angled it precise. Pulse fired. Light bounced off the mirror, flashing a decoy signal down the hall like a guard beacon activating. Assailants spun. Rifles tracked the ghost light. They advanced, boots thudding. Eli gripped Sayuri's wrist. Go. They burst from the tunnel. Sayuri sprinted silent, tail streamlined. Eli matched her pace, low and steady. No wasted motion. Blaster bolts scorched the wall behind them. They dove into the recess. Pipes clanged as Sayuri wedged the spear to brace a barricade panel. Eli synced the beacon again. Mirror tricked another. Volley bolts slammed harmless 50 meters off. Flank coming, Sayuri hissed. Her frill pulsed warning sense Voss chem sense picking up sweat and ozone. Eli palmed a second mirror from his pocket. Logistics fix. Always carry redirects for jammed scanners. He leaned out. Bounced the beacon pulse to draw the flank left. 2 assailants split. Third charged their position. Sayuri exploded from cover. Spear thrust low. Hooked the intruder's leg servos. Exosuit whirred. Buckled. She rode him down. Claws pinning his helmet release. The visor popped. Scaled face, snarled Krell hybrid. Eyes milky with mods. Who sent you? Sayeri's knife pressed his throat. Tail coiled his rifle arm. Crushing. Eli covered her, beacon pulsing diversions. The other two hesitated, rifles questing the mirror's lies. Krell prime. The captive spat. Blood flecked his fangs. Lear pays triple for Voss princess head. Sayeri's frill spiked rage. She wrenched his comms node free. Jammed it under his jaw. Name. Full chain. He bucked. Eli knelt, zip ties from his kit snapping wrists. Steady pressure on the knee joint. Logistics hold. Immobilized without kill. Quen. The Krell gasped. Envoy Lear Quen. Human bait fails. Voss yields. Boots pounded. Drek's troops rounded the corner. Plasma lances leveled. Marshal Drek shoved forward, eyes locked on Eli. You disobeyed. Again. Eli stood, beacon still in hand. Saved your princess. Check the feed. Sayeri rose, spear dripping. She tossed the comms node to Drek. Lear's trace. Quarantine breach was cover. Drek snatched it. His mandibles clicked fury. Scanned the node. Confirmed. Krell incursion routed. But human, you pulled royal blood into tunnels. Eli met his glare. Calm. Tunnels held. Main hall didn't. Sayeri stepped between. Tail flicked Eli's leg claim. He led. I followed. Proof enough? Drek growled. High ruler decides. Quarantine lifts. Court awaits. Seals hissed open hours later. Palace corridors buzzed with repair drones. Guards saluted. Sayeri sharper now. Whispers trailed Eli. The quiet one. Tricked Krell sightlines. They entered the throne vault. High ruler Karov loomed on his dais. Obsidian crown glinting. Envoy Lear Quen stood at his flank. Scales polished smooth. Marshal Drek beside. Karov's voice rumbled. Report. On. Report. Sayeri straightened. Assassins breached East Wing. Eli redirected them. Captured proof. She held up the node shard. Lear's eyes flicked to Eli. Too quick. Eli stayed silent. Let actions stack. Karov beckoned. Human. Approach. Eli stepped forward. No bow. Logistics tech didn't grovel. You volunteered for my daughter's shield, Karov said. Marriage contract public. Rivals laughed. Krell moved fast. Not symbolic, Eli replied. Flat. Real blade. Karov's gaze pierced. Prove it holds. Drek next trial. Marshal smirked. Sim combat. Full court watch. Human versus Voss elite. Sayeri tensed. Claw grazed Eli's hand. Hidden. Accepted, Eli said. Rigged or clean? Lear leaned in. Motives? Human? Throne? Leverage? Eli turned his kit beacon over in fingers. Logistics. Fix problems. Court murmured. Aliens leaned Voss warriors twice Eli's mass, but his calm unnerved. Karov nodded. Bond ceremony tomorrow. Survive trial, it seals. Sayeri pulled Eli aside in the antechamber. Door sealed. Her frill brushed his chest. Drek rigs Sims. Blades tuned hot. Eli unpacked his kit. Mirror shards, beacons, wire spool. Seen it. Endurance wins. He traced her tail base. Gentle. Like before, she purred low. Leaned in. Lips met his fiercer now. Claws scored his shirt, not skin. Together? Treading one. Always. His hand cupped her frill. Steady pulse beneath. Alert pinged. Lear's shuttle requesting dock. Traced to Krell relays. Eli cued the counterhack. Fingers flew. Chain shortens. Sayeri gripped his wrist. Court sees you now. Underestimated ends. He nodded. Pulled her close. Bodies aligned again. Human stubbornness met Voss fire. Rhythm built trust deeper. No words. Touches, mapped it. After, tangled sheets. Her head on his chest. Father watches. Drek pushes. Lear schemes. Eli stroked her scales. One fix at a time. She laughed soft. Tail locked his thigh. Love in logistics? Practical care. He kissed her frill. Steady. Dawn broke with combat sim feeds live. Arena hummed. Court packed tears. Karov central. Lear beside. Calm hidden. Drek entered opposite. Voss elite squad. 4 warriors. Lances humming. Eli stepped to mark. No armor. Kit only. Begin. Warriors charged. Lances slashed arcs. Eli dodged. Low. Used arena mirrors palace decor for sightlines. Beacon pulsed. Ghosting duplicates. Elite swung at phantoms. Overextended. Sayuri watched from royal box. Fist clenched. Eli feinted left. Mirror tricked a lance high. He tripped the warrior with wire spool. Logistics snare. 1 down. Squad adapted. Closed. Tight. Eli rolled under. Beacon jammed their HUD's freck overload. 2 staggered blind. Sayuri's tail thrashed. Pride swelled her frill. Drek snarled. Cheat. Adapt. Eli called. Calm. Last 2 lunged tandem. Eli dropped flat. Spears crossed overhead. He yanked conduit pipe loose, exposed from breach repairs. Sparks flew. Shorting their suits. They dropped twitching. Arena silent. Drek stormed field. Trials clean. Eli rose. Dust off hands. 1 steady. Court erupted. Eli yanked the hidden compartment open in the arena's underbelly grate. The captured attacker spilled out. Bound in logistics, netting frill clamped, tail pinned. Court gasps rippled through the tears. He dragged the Voss infiltrator forward by the restraint harness. Dust from the sim still clung to his kit. High Ruler Karov. Eli's voice cut clean over the murmurs. This one's yours. Caught him planting the beacon jammer last cycle. Demands a public trial under your seal. Karov leaned forward from the royal dais. His armored frill flared wide. Eyes locking on the writhing prisoner. Evidence? Aye. Eli tapped his wrist calm. Holofeed projected. Grainy corridors. The attacker splicing conduits. Then Eli's quiet takedown with a stun wire loop. No flare. Just trap and secure. Sayuri's tail flicked sharp in Eli's peripheral vision from the royal box. Her scales gleamed under arena lights. Fist still clenched from the sim. Drek stormed closer. Lance humming low. Human tricks. This changes nothing. Changes the game. Eli shoved the attacker to his knees before Karov. Trial now. Public. Your seal guarantees truth serum feed. Expose the rivals pulling strings. Lear Quen slithered forward from Karov's side, robes whispering. Bold. Terran. But why rush? Motives? Eli met her gaze steady. Fix the breach. Protect the bond. He nodded to Sayuri without looking. Her frill quivered. Karov silenced the court with a raised claw. Granted. Trial under seal. Guards hauled the attacker to the central dais. Serum injector's word. The infiltrator's eyes glazed. Confession spilled. Lear's subtle bribes. Rival house codes. Funneled through her calm. Lear's scales paled. She backed a step. Drek's lance twitched toward her. Court exploded again, shouts, frill flares. Eli stood rocksteady amid it. Karov silenced them with a roar. His gaze pinned Eli. You delivered justice where my own falter. The challenge, Sim? Passed. The marriage shield? Proven. He paused, voice dropping to gravel. Exit clause activates now, Terran. Walk clean. No bond. No court venom. Return to your human enclave. Heroes pay. Eli's pulse stayed even. He glanced at Sayuri. Her eyes held his guarded fire. tail tip curling slow. No exit. Eli stepped forward. Full bond ceremony. Here. Now. Gasps tripled. Drek snarled. Insane! You'll break under real trials. Sayeri rose from her seat. Silence crashed down. Karov tilted his head. Irrevocable choice, Eli Mercer. The vow circle binds life scales. Her life. Yours. Eli nodded once. Steady care. That's the fix. Sayeri descended the dais steps. Her gown's scales chimed soft. Court held breath. She stopped inches from Eli. Frill inches from his chest. Heat radiated off her. Eli Carr. She murmured in Voss tongue, deep roll. Possessive curl. Her claw gripped his wrist. Pulled him into the vow circle, etched in the arena floor. Glow lines ignited under their feet. Karov stood. Witness. Chanting rose from the tear's ancient Voss rhythm. Vow beads materialized in attendant's claws. Sayeri took one strand. Pressed it to Eli's palm. Her scales brushed his skin. Electric. By scale and pulse, she intoned, eyes locked. I shield you. Eli mirrored, threading the bead to her frill base. By hand and fix. I steady you. Beads fused biolock hummed. Pain lanced Eli's palm, then hers. Bond scent bloomed, her musk, his sweat, mixed sharp. Court knelt as one. Drek dropped his lance point.